Hello, everyone. Nature is something to marvel at and appreciate, but never underestimate, especially when it decides to show its true power. Today, we'll witness just how terrifying and unpredictable nature can be when it's angry. Let's get into it. Landslides in Myanmar happen fairly often, but this one was on another level. It smashed through a dam meant to contain the waste from jade mining. A small crack allowed water to trickle out. Then a massive surge burst forth, heading towards the closest quarry. According to experts, about 3 million cubic meters of water, along with waste, leaked from the dam. Thankfully, it didn't reach any residential areas, but for the workers, it was a real catastrophe. Some people build homes by rivers, forgetting how powerful water can be. In Montana, heavy snowmelt and rain caused the river to rise 4 meters. The floodwaters rushed fast, eroding the banks. Unfortunately for the homeowners, their riverside property took a beating too. All they could do was watch helplessly as their big house fell into the water and floated away. It's not common for lightning to hit cars, but some folks in South Florida found themselves in that rare situation. Everyone was okay, but the passengers in both cars were shaken up by what happened. Whoever decided to build the bridge right here was a real genius. Thanks to them, people were able to take shelter from the massive avalanche. The snow kept coming down from the mountain for so long that it felt like it would never stop. But at least witnesses could watch it happen from a safe spot. No, you're not seeing things. A piece of land is really moving. Folks in Alta, Norway, got a taste of this firsthand. Typically, they see maybe 2 landslides a year, but they're usually no big deal. Unlike this one, a massive landslide swept a large chunk of land into the sea, along with 8 houses. Luckily, they were mostly holiday homes, so they were empty. But even though there were no casualties, the sight was quite eerie. You probably think there's nothing special about this wave, but let's not jump to conclusions just yet. You probably think there's nothing special about this wave, but let's not jump to conclusions just yet.
Oh, she's gone.
Parking in the mountains can have an unexpected downside: the risk of an avalanche. People came to the Elbrus area for a ski or snowboarding trip as usual, leaving their cars in the parking lot. No one imagined that a big avalanche would come down the mountain just minutes later, reaching the cars and burying them under thick snow. Check out these stunning shots from Romania. A driver spotted a strange cloud in the distance and started filming. Turns out he captured the formation process of a massive tornado. Look at how the swirling currents gradually merge and blend into one. Impressive, isn't it? Welcome to Hawaii, where you'll find a whopping 4 active volcanoes.
That's my crazy neighbor. Backing up towards
During one eruption, lava flows were so massive that they covered nearly 50 hectares of land, even spilling into residential areas. Locals had to evacuate urgently because even though the lava was moving relatively slowly, it still managed to engulf buildings. They say the molten mass destroyed around 40 structures. It's terrifying to imagine what the area looked like after it was all over.
That's my crazy neighbor. That's my crazy neighbor.
Earthquakes are really scary, and what happened in Indonesia proves it. In this video, you can clearly see how powerful shakes loosen up the soil. As a result, the ground becomes unpredictable, making it extremely risky to be around. This woman is barely keeping her balance. According to media reports, on that day, the earthquake affected 430 hectares of land in the city. That's about 14 large football stadiums. Huge rain clouds are always impressive, but these shots from Argentina are simply stunning. They say thunderstorms are rare in this area, so people saw such a massive storm front for the first time. As 4 hurricanes hit New York at once, the woman living in this house assumed she'd only have to deal with intense hail. But she quickly realized she was wrong. A tornado was barreling straight towards her home. The tornado narrowly missed her, tearing through everything in its path. Thankfully, she remained unharmed, but one can only imagine the fear she experienced being so close to the destructive whirlwind. After barely recovering from one avalanche, residents of a Dagestani district were hit by another, and then another, and another. Several times in a row, over a brief period, 7 avalanches swept through the area. Despite efforts by local workers to clear a section of the highway, it was soon buried under snow once again. Although no one was injured, numerous people were left stranded in their villages. It's hard to imagine the aftermath, but they say they managed to sort it out together within a few days.